Hi everyone, thanks for stopping by and seeing what I'm up to. Was going to use my TV and, oh, here we are. Kevin everywhere. Meet Kevin has an update and I hope my audio is fixed a lot better. Super sorry. Better audio.
Hey everyone, Meet Kevin here with a positive stimulus negotiation update along with updates on stocks and real estate. There's a lot of negativity right now and my goal is to bring you realistic information and positive news. Just a heads up, I'm also planning a different style of giveaway, so stay tuned for that. I haven't figured out the details just yet, but I'm working on something. Alright, let's get started. First, we've got a big interview with Mark Meadows. This is White House Chief of Staff Meadows. Remember, Meadows used to work as a representative in the House of Representatives. He knows a lot of the Democrats and Republicans in there. He's the one, he's like the only one, who's been walking across the aisle to talk to Democrats. He's also the guy who's been working with the, remember this, Problem Solvers Caucus we talked about a few weeks ago? He's still working with them. Here's how we're gonna talk about Mark Meadows though. We're gonna talk about the bad first that happened, and then we're gonna wrap it up with the positive developments. So here's the bad. Over the last 2 weeks, there have been zero negotiations between Mark Meadows and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. I'm sure Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer have talked between Mark Meadows and them. In other words, Mark Meadows, the negotiator for the White House and Republicans right now, and Mitch McConnell's taking a backseat. Mark Meadows has not had any contact with Nancy Pelosi and Schumer. Now, he's tried to. He went to Nancy Pelosi's office on Saturday. The only thing that we've heard has come back so far is a text message from Nancy Pelosi's chief of staff checking if they had Mark Meadows' phone number correct. And literally, that's it. There's been no stimulus talk between the two. Steve Mnuchin over at the Treasury also reached out to Pelosi. Pelosi did respond to Mnuchin, and she said that, well, if you meet us in the middle, then maybe we'll be able to negotiate. Mnuchin initially thought, okay, meet us in the middle, that's possibly a deal, that's a negotiation opportunity, maybe we can make that happen. Well, now we have an update on what she really means by meet us in the middle. Nancy Pelosi apparently means take $1 trillion off. And that's different than meeting in the middle, because Democrats are technically between $3.4 and $3.5 trillion. Republicans are about at $1 trillion. We originally thought, okay, well, meeting us in the middle was 2. But unfortunately, Nancy Pelosi didn't mean meet us in the middle. She actually just meant take off $1 trillion, which means we're really negotiating between $2.4 trillion to $2.5 trillion for Democrats and $1 trillion for Republicans, which means Nancy Pelosi actually puts us a little bit further apart than we thought we were. Remember, I told you this is the bad part first. We'll get to the good part in just a second. And part of this could also just be, this is the way the Republicans are passing it, but it doesn't sound good the way Mark Meadows is putting it. And he does appear to try to be as balanced as he can be, because he is talking to a lot of Democrats. In fact, he says he's having a ton of productive conversations with Democrats in the House and the Senate. He says that a lot of them, if not most of them, want a deal, and they're being reasonable. The president wants a deal. Republicans want a deal. Everybody wants a deal. This is the last of the bad, and we'll get to more of the good. But he argues that Nancy Pelosi wants to potentially hold out until the end of September to get what she wants. The end of September means the next stimulus package, instead of getting wrapped up potentially before the negotiation on the U.S. budget, she might try to essentially wrap the negotiation on the next stimulus package into the U.S. budget negotiation for next year. Now, this is a little bit different from what Nancy Pelosi said. Nancy Pelosi said she wants to get a deal done as soon as possible and is willing to wait on state and local government funding until January, when there's a new administration and a new Congress, or potentially the same administration but still a new Congress. Without doubt, some representatives and senators have been swapped around. So clearly there's a little bit of a disconnect between the sides here. So the bad news is Nancy Pelosi right now seems to be where the big question mark lay. The good news is Mark Meadows says there is a lot of common ground and a lot of pressure is building up to get a deal done now. Now here's a potential good news thing that came out of this interview. Mark Meadows said continuing resolution is when both Democrats and Republicans get together and say, let's just continue what we had until we properly figure out how to do the budget and fully negotiate this. In other words, let's just keep spending on unemployment. Let's just keep all the benefits going that we had, which presumably would go back to the $600 per week, and let's keep spending to keep helping the individuals who need help until we finally negotiate this. We're not sure if Nancy Pelosi will go with this, but the continuing resolution is typically used during the country's budget negotiations, which happen in September. So that could be the perfect time to say, hey, let's just continue the federal budget the way it's been. Let's continue unemployment the way it was at the end of July. And then for now, in the meantime, let's figure out on the other things. And coming to an agreement on the other things would mean things like the Paycheck Protection Program, stimulus checks, maybe food aid, school aid, and some of these other items that we've seen in the skinny bill. Obviously, we'll see how this ends up playing out, but I think this means right now our eyes and focus have to be on Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi will be interviewed this Sunday with Jake Tapper. I'm sure she'll be issuing some press statements and other information over the next few days. So let's pay attention to Pelosi, because right now the eyes are on Pelosi. Mark Meadows, some of the Republicans think she's really maybe potentially overplaying her hand by hard selling the HEROES Act, which she did this morning, a retweet that she wants the HEROES Act. Obviously, I think we all recognize that at this point the HEROES Act is not going to happen. Kevin McCarthy was also interviewed, and he complained that why is it that we're focusing on the post office and 1/3 of Democrats in the House didn't even show up? That is, they had other representatives kind of cast their vote for them. You can kind of like assign someone else, like, hey John, I really don't want to fly back to the White House and the Capitol for, basically a dead on arrival bill. Can you just cast my vote for me? Yeah, like that happens. And so Kevin McCarthy, complained about that. It's like, we can't even get everybody back to do a post office bill that because it's dead on arrival. Let's focus on the things we can get everyone back for, and that's serious. So we'll see. On COVID news, there was a report in the New York Times, and I talked about this a couple days ago about there potentially being an emergency use authorization to basically get a vaccine out into the market sooner rather than later. Mark Meadows commented on exactly this, because remember, it's a Trump priority to get a vaccine this year, not next year. I think most of us see a vaccine, especially in the stock market, as a potential bailout, and so we can get out of this pandemic and go back to normal, although I think many of us are still scratching our heads and wondering, are we actually going to take it? Now, Mark Meadows says he's optimistic on a vaccine. We've got 7 to 8 vaccines in phase 3 trials. Multiple manufacturers are already producing millions of vials in anticipation of approval, and he clarified that no, we will not accept foreign trials. This was actually a big piece right here. It was a big part about the vaccine news, was that potentially we would just sort of inherit trials from maybe the United Kingdom with the AstraZeneca vaccine, and Mark Meadows said no, we will not. We will go through FDA approval processes and the FDA protocol. So that's good. Might need a little bit more time, but we obviously know the Trump administration is pushing very hard to get that done as soon as possible. Mark Meadows also dove into Donald Trump's priority of bringing as many supply chains as possible back to America, along with tax cuts. This is something that Larry Kudlow spoke about as well. Larry Kudlow suggested during the RNC last night that we've got a choice in this country. Do we go with the economic policies we've had for the last 3 years, 2.5 years, or do we go with potentially new economic policies which might be higher taxes? I thought he made a fair distinction, and I think that is a debate definitely that still needs to be had. On real estate, I do want to mention that, in my opinion, there are going to be 2 opportunities to buy over the next year here. I think the next opportunity, the next buying window, is probably going to be before October 15th to really lock in lower rates. Watch my video that I posted yesterday. I have a real estate playlist. You can go down below. So if you just want real estate or stock videos, the playlists are in the description down below. On stocks, we've got a pretty green day today. The only stocks pulling back today that I really pay attention to are going to be stocks like Rocket Mortgage. We've got a pullback from that high. It hit $30, which was my price target for it. I thought that was crazy. Rocket Mortgage for me is a buy under 23. It's above that right now. If we get back to 23 on sort of a pullback here, I think Rocket Mortgage is one to pay attention to. Simon Property Group's been trading sideways for quite a while along with Dave & Buster's. These are companies that are just waiting for a vaccine at this point, and that's fair enough. Tesla Tesla up 4% again. We just bought. I recommended possibly doing some buying on Tesla, just under 2,000. But wow, this one's just taking up, and Redfin's about to break $15. That means it's 5x since I started going heavy on Redfin back in March. 5x. That's absolutely crazy.
So folks, thanks for stopping by and seeing what I'm up to. My name is Silkyfeather, and you can call me Silky. I really do enjoy making the videos to let you guys know about the information on the stimulus. And my whole intention was just to bring stimulus information. I am a news junkie, and yeah, I'm a Biden fan, and I rag on Trump, yep. And I apologize to those that are his fan, but I'll explain it one more time, really quick. I don't like my mother. We don't get along. We don't talk. She hasn't been in my life for over 6 years. And if my mom tomorrow became the president, I still wouldn't like my mom. So I never liked Trump from the beginning, before he was ever in office. And it just kind of like says to me, yeah, you definitely were on the right side, and I just don't like him. So, my thing wants to talk to me about something. My computer. I really enjoy doing this, and I want to expand, because I really feel like I don't have a niche, quote unquote. I am a crafter, I am an artist, and I guess I worry that there's so much of that information out there that mine wouldn't be as interesting or as good as the other artists. And art can be, this could be art to somebody. And I don't know, I'm self-conscious. I'm not self-confident at all about the things I know when I have something good. I make ashtrays, and this one, I use this one, but I make resin ashtrays. They're really cool. My bedroom's mainly red, so anyway, candle holders, I like this one. It's actually pink and black, and I like that it's not even. But see, to me that's art, and to somebody else they might say, wow, yeah, no, they might not like it at all, and it's okay. But so I worry a great deal. I made this pendant. I was showing off in the thing. But hey, thanks for stopping by and checking this out. My name is Silkyfeather. Signing off. Like, subscribe, and share. And if you're new, welcome.